Yo, what is happening, my friends? Welcome to the official beginning of the Minecraft community-driven realm. We're going to run through creative today. I'm going to kind of mark some stuff off with different colored wool, get an idea of what we have cooking in the background, and then as we run through, sort of explain the idea, the justification behind it before we go onto hard mode survival and really make this stuff happen for real. So let's jump in with it right now. I'm freaking excited, but before we do, if you have any thoughts, anything sparks up your creativity as we run through, drop in the comments below. I want to hear what you're thinking. I want this to truly be community driven. So let's let's go. So here's where it all began, right here on Survival. We were playing, goofing off a little bit on stream, and this is what we had, just kind of get some paper going for some books, which I now know are for enchanting, and we're going to kind of expand on this eventually just to sort of survive as the story goes. But obviously the farmlands themselves, we moved to a thematic area, and that's kind of the idea right now. Is we're gonna run through and I'm gonna show you what we have made, which isn't really anything fancy. It's really just the bare essentials, and then I guess kind of explain the themes behind things. So it's not just going to be, here's a farm, I survived with that, here's a mine, I got stuff out of that. I'm gonna run through and explain where the creativity piece comes in, where I don't just want this to be a survival playthrough, but a thematic one where we're trying to sort of fit a time mode, I think, more than anything. With the castle, the medieval piece, we're gonna have like different classes on wealth and things of that nature, and really just explain along the way. But here's the first piece: an entrance. Obviously every castle has to have an entrance. There's no moat. Yeah, it's TBD. It's a castle. It's a castle in the freaking mountains. Does it really need a moat? I don't know. Maybe a lava moat. I'm just kidding. But for real, here's the entrance piece, right? So white's the entrance. Here we are. I got that marked off with some wool here. Okay, so let's jump down and show what we had at least to begin. It was literally a door, an unguarded door with some stuff in the beginning. As you know, what really to start, we had enough people in the realm that we were kind of fending off mobs. We were keeping it daytime for sure too as they went. But this is the goal right here, to have a single entrance to the castle. And castle is maybe not even the right word for it, more of an actual city, really, a city built into the mountain. So it wasn't anything fancy, but I like the idea. I like having a single point of entrance into it where all the trade and commerce kind of run through it. And let's take a look at it from the top too. So if you were maybe a guard posted here, you could see maybe a road coming out, right? Maybe a road that leads to, there's some other cool neighboring mountains where I think we could terraform and build more of the city outwards. But we could even really just have sister cities too, which long term, but again, it's pretty ambitious. But over here we got some water. I think it'd be neat if there was like an old cobblestone road that led to the water for commerce and trade to come to the city. But what's a city if it's not guarded? And this is the piece I think is going to be pretty fun to build, just for the kicks and giggles of it. I think I'm going to use yellow to mark off the defense section. Now this is where we're going to have armor stands, chests with arrows, various different things that seem like it's a military place. Maybe even build like a gym, often like under, I don't even know. But first of all, can I point out this? I really enjoy this design. I think that's going to be something we see a lot, at least in the beginning, before we get some more complex materials and come up with better patterns. But as it stands, this is going to be where, okay, so let's be a trader. Let's just kind of, let's role play here. Oh, yeah, I'm swimming. Okay, so here we go. I'm here to sell my fine yellow wool. Oh, is that a military complex right next to me? Probably should obey the law, a little Skyrim style here. This is a piece we kind of put in the beginning for, it's been cleared out since, but this is where we actually were keeping horses. And I think it's kind of a neat idea to keep them in the city for protection, but that's still in the brainstorming piece where we got to get going. We got to get some mats. We got to start really grinding out the resources in here before we really decide where some of the finer details like that are going to be. But I know to begin, I really like the idea of having the entrance followed by the protection of the military. Little lay of the land here. As you come through, you see the mountain was already naturally sort of broken out in like a roadway fashion. This is going to be cleared out more, and I think it'd be neat if there was stuff inside of the mountain too. So there's a lot of gravel on the way they'll have to worry about, but we'll probably just terraform that with a rock and really fill that out as time goes. If you remember from Star Wars Utapau, actually, where it was these large holes in the ground that they built entire cities in, I think that might be an idea to draw inspiration from for this piece at least. But that's going to be kind of discovered as we go. I do know that no city lives if they're not making gold. And here's kind of where I like the idea of, you enter, they have the guard right there on the entrance, and then maybe somewhere around here is where we begin to see the commerce. like the true commerce. So the trade comes in, and they have the guards keeping an eye on them, making sure that, you know, no one's up to any funny businesses they come through. And then they have, we're going to mark that off with orange here, the marketplace. So that's the idea of the marketplace, that you come in, go in the main entrance, you guarded, checked, make sure you're not up to any funny business, little medieval TSA, if you will. Come through the main spot, and it'll probably be more decorated with foliage and trees. And then you come over here, and it's where the villagers are, where you kind of got them capped off to get some emeralds while we're grinding out and building things. But really beyond that, I'd like it to be more alive in the village. Obviously, we can't just put people in the game, but if we can capture some villagers and make that happen over here, I think the village piece might feel alive. Now, it's small scale, but it can be fun. So that's going to be the marketplace. But who owns the markets and the marketplace? None other than the wealthy district. I'm going to drop that right here. I like the idea of red kind of marking that off. Should it be purple? It's more royalty. And that is a big TBD. If we're going to have a royal district, like where the king and queen stay, shouldn't that be something really tall and very elegant? Yeah, we'll figure that out. But right here, here's what we got. Get the markets over there just far enough away where they're not going to be hearing all the trading and the screaming and all the jazz that goes on in really loud areas in public. And then you've got the military piece far enough away. They've got plenty of time to protect them. You got the entrance far enough away too, in case there is an attack that makes it through. But also imagine it's kind of built up a little bit, and they can look around and see the world. And it's just beautiful. I love this biome. I love how some of the trees over here are a little bit more lively than the ones over here where they're covered in snow and more evergreen feel. And I like that aesthetic. I feel like if I was rich, that's where I'd want to stay. One detail to the wealthy section, and like I said, we're theming off the different pieces of survival, right? I would like the wealthy piece to be where we have a dining hall for fun, where we have various things to store food too, where it's not just here are crates that have everything in them with the traditional, let's just do our best and maximize survival. Let's have some fun. Let's have a little bit of a challenge. Have the fancy dining hall and the kitchen behind it, that when you get to it is where you have all of your bread and all of your other things to survive in the mission too. So the game is constantly going around and experiencing the build you're making and really putting some time behind walking into it and experiencing what these villagers may experience, to really give more time to creativity and bring life to the realm. Now here comes the fun part. Here's the one that I'm really excited to be building, and the idea I have in mind is going to be a lot of nether resource grinding. But right here, when you look at it, what do you see? Aside from the random sheep and the cows, what do you see? I see something isolated from the city. I see something that is important and necessary, but kind of kept away, maybe even a little bit taboo. And I think right here is going to be my favorite to build, just from a lore developing perspective. And I'm gonna make it bright. I'm gonna make it this pinkish purple looking. Well, what's it actually called? It's called magenta. Okay, well, I don't know my colors very well apparently, but we're gonna make this one right here the mages area. This is where you're going to have everything from the enchanting table to the stored diamond and lapis. I want this one to really expand beyond just being a cool, very thoroughly redstoned out section. And it's going to be, expanded for sure too. That's pretty small. But I want it to be trapdoors, hidden rooms. I want the portal to the nether to be here. Things that are just very magical in nature. Things that aren't your typical, I'm a soldier, I am a merchant. I want all that to kind of be kept in here. And I don't know exactly what the mages are kind of thought of in this world yet, if we're going to really get into that piece. Like in Skyrim, basically everybody has magic, right? Everyone can shoot fire out of their hands, it seems like. But I want this place to be like a select few, a very, very few, very special few who are kept hidden. Not really hidden, because everybody knows they're there. Everybody knows they need them. But I want them to be sort of revered from a distance. Moving on from the mages, we're gonna go to the middle class. I got blue here for that. So when you come in, you got the merchants, right? You got that little storefront area, you got the entrance, you got the military, you got the rich kind of overseeing it, but from far enough away where you're not bugged by it. I think the middle class should live here. Bust out this wall, kind of turn this into a village, really. I think we'll probably terraform it more to some dirt too, get some flowers in there, just some natural growth. And I'm drop the blue here for it. So right here, I don't envision them necessarily being looked down upon, because obviously they run the businesses that are owned by the wealthy, but they're not as far away from the entrance. They're not as high up. They're not as protected as the wealthy class, and they're also close enough to get to their work. So as they sell and trade, they're not too far from home, and they're not too far from the rest of their family and their kin too. I think it'd be kind of fun. You can really begin to put some personality into it if you think about it. Come over here, maybe there's a house come on this little ledge. Maybe there's a guy here who's just got a bunch of golden bars stored, and he thinks someday he's gonna save up enough to be rich and live over here with the wealthy on the top of the mountain, and different things like that. I feel like there can be a lot of creativity in it, more end game. Obviously I want that gold because I need to make some rails, but as it gets there, it could be fun. Also, a church. Wouldn't the village people have a church? And what better place to put the church than on the opposite side of this mountainy terrain from the mages? Or maybe the mages, again, they know they need them, but they want to worship the gods and not different pieces of nature and things like that. And again, build into the lore. I think there's a lot of potential to really build that in. But look at that. That expands a lot. There's a lot more of the middle class and the workers than there are of the wealthy there. Now, remember earlier we were talking about the farmlands and how this was just the beginning piece to survive, to get some cows, get some leather, get some things going in that regards. But let's come back here to where we have this big forest, where it's just kind of right on the edge of the mountains. It's perfect for them to get firewood and different things to build their houses, which aren't going to be built of more solid stone like the wealthy and potentially the royal at some point, but or the crazy quartz and different nether material that the mages have. But maybe just kind of put over here, and let's put it on top of a tree, actually, this wool, to kind of give an idea of what we're thinking here. Let's fill this into a nice square. There we go. I'm thinking over here is where we have the trees, where they get the logs, the wheat, where they get their bread. We could put really all of the farmlands in here too. And there can be some really, I think there could be creativity in here too, where they sort of maximize the land by having trees in one spot, and lined in between them is some water rows and different rivers with like walkways over them. I like the idea of them having firewood and different ways to build their houses, but also the wheat, and there's already pumpkins kind of started over there, and just really living off of the land right here by the castle. The question that I'm still wondering is, would it be guarded? Would there be wooden walls, wooden fences? Would there be a stone barrier all the way around? I don't know. How much does this city respect the people who continue to expand the city? How protected do they want it to be? And do they think they're going to exhaust the resources and need to, sort of break out more than that to where they don't want to build a stone barrier? I don't know. Again, the thoughts that are really going to sort of get into the lore building, but further than that too, can we land it? Can we land it? Can we land it? Oh, yeah, here we go. But even beyond that too, sort of how we want it to look. So it's not just going to be functional. It's not going to have a lore only. It's going to have an aesthetic too. And that'll kind of be TBD, I think, also depending on how many stone we have left over after building all the wealthy stuff. Moving on from the farmlands where the wealthy stay, the mages, all of the craziness that sort of make up the village. What about when you first come in? And I don't mean to the city. What about when you first come in to the world itself? That's what I made at first, just sort of to mark it off. And this was in creative. This will all be gone when we go to the survival realm. But what is it going to look like? What's it going to be? And I'm going to go ahead and mark this off as the place where when you first come in, you're welcomed. You don't just spawn into this realm to help out and have a good time and really create this city with lore. You really come into some bare essentials. Here's a basic pickaxe. Here's a woodcutting axe. Oh, don't forget, you're gonna need this loaf of bread. And I'm not gonna put any signs that lead to the main area. And that's kind of why I'm really glad it's over here. Take a look at this. Hi, Bacon. You can see the city. Probably going to be seeing a lot more of the structures from here in time. But to begin, it's going to be just this. So people can come and help, and they can see the map. But what they don't know is where everything else actually is taking place, right here in the mountains. And I'm thinking that's pretty cool. It's kind of a fun little starter guide that gets you into the grind, gets you back warmed up, keeping alive in survival. But at the same time, let's keep the mystery. How do you see this world? How do you bring it to life so that none of this is just, hey, here's the thing, make it happen, but pitch in. It's community driven, right? All right, so we've been welcomed in. We know where the mages stay. We have an idea of the church and the middle class, where the wealthy are going to be. We're still thinking about the rich people. We got the dock area over here, which might have a cobblestone road coming over. But what about the mines? The most important piece. It's literally in the name, people. Take a look at this. Mines. I got a honeycomb fort. Let's go find one, actually. And over here we go. So starting it off right with some coal. Of course, it'd be a tough to get to coal too. I like, yes, get a little bit of challenge, have some fun. Over here, mines, honeycomb, because it's where the bread and butter of the game is. It's where it's sweet, as Anakin would say. This is where the fun begins. So here we are. Let's jump on in. Over here, the village is over there, so we can kind of just shore the lands a little bit more and not worry about too much of how it looks. But also, this is one of the potential neighboring cities. Again, TBD. But come on over. Start the mines, start building, start excavating, and get it back. And one thing too, now that I'm sitting here and I'm looking over there, seeing how far that is, the horse could be nice. What if we made a railway too? You see what I'm talking about? It's not. Oh my goodness. I'm 10 years too late in this game, but it feels like I've been playing it forever. Like it just feels like home. I'm loving the game, and I'm really excited to jump into this too. If you have any thoughts, again, leave them in the comments below. Any creativity you have on it, but also, and I think more importantly too, the community here that's going to be helping us build it. That's going to be pitching in and making this whole thing a reality. They're all hanging out in the Discord. Check out the link below. You got the Discord, the Twitter for updates, also to see when new videos are coming out. Make sure you subscribe. Check all of it out. And if you're interested in jumping in, DM me or one of the mods in the Discord. It is a sub-only realm right now at mixer.com/poisonkill. We're kind of piecing it together, but I'm really excited to see what happens with it. I know it's gonna take a long time. It's gonna have some craziness. There's gonna be automation involved too. We're gonna have to find a way to sort of bury those under the city too, so that we're not just, you know, having some ugly like future redstone automation taking place in the middle of some medieval city. That breaks the lore. Where's the immersion in that? We're not gonna let that happen. And I'm holding Honey as a panda bear. I'm Winnie the Panda Pooh. But my friends, this has been your daily dose of positive poison from the YouTube side of things. I'm incredibly excited to be starting this off with all of you, to be sharing the journey, and to really be building it with a lot of you too. In the meantime, see you next time, everyone. Good luck. Sorry. Up. Okay, I'm getting a little weird now, and I probably shouldn't get political. Just shooting fire out of your hands, conjuring freaking lightning from the sun. What? From the sun? I'm going back. Why did I say that? Why do I say these things?